Every year I self-publish an anthology, a collection of originally produced poetry of this class. These kids are now beginning that writing portfolio. I'm really excited to see what this book becomes. We don't have this book done, but I went through old copies. This was one particular year. And I always write them a poem, like a kind of goodbye poem. And it's always custom to them. And this was for this particular year, but it really reminds me of our class. And you'll see why. It's called Ode to 11th Edition. I thought about you while reading Rumi. Somewhere between right and wrong, there is a garden. I will meet you there, he says. Since August, we've wandered all kinds of gardens, the kind thriving inside poems, foliage found in daughter memoirs, in the scars of a son's short stories. I've listened to your discoveries, watched you add landscape, plant seeds, and create colors for which the sun rises. In fourth floor magic, we submerged into settings and imagery. We drifted and drowned the school day's stress in diction and laughter, and oftentimes a holy grail engraved by your insights. And when the moon arrived, beside fire, I read you. Rhymes and words crafted by your fresh Viking minds. I discovered this distracted world can, in fact, be saved by an army of 11th edition soldiers, often off topic. In life's digressions, enlist your pens as ninjas. Arm your hearts with daily journals. Let writing slaughter conflict that corrupts you. And when love comes, give words a sabbatical, but keep them close. Your writing will testify to emotions rattling your cages deep inside. And if your feet march or your fists set this generation free, don't forget to launch those battleship words while new chapters arrive and the past gets revised. And as new graduations await you, remember me, the moon lady in room 462 who loved unraveling your brilliance, who cherished all the treasure she found hibernating inside you. You are her treasure. She will always meet you in that garden. She will always water your ideas and nourish your bloom and roots. She will witness you thrive, and always she will believe in you. This is one this is like my ultimate rejection letter poem. I've submitted it several times, and I keep getting a letter that says something like, it's a great poem, but it's too long. And I refuse to shorten it. So hopefully it finds a home that doesn't mind how long it is. It's called Memoir of a Pirate Girl Who Could and Did. She was supposed to be born a boy. Instead, she arrived breech, like a boomerang covered in nails. So in screaming's grip, her mother of 5 demanded they tie her tubes. Her oldest brother says that at night, she'd break free from her crib and climb the kitchen counter, where she'd pour kitchen spices into miniature mountains, swirling rosemary and garlic salt mandulas, chili powder clouds. Little pirate girl often got her way by holding her breath until she turned blue, and by 5, she carried on her head tangles of red curls like barbells. That was the year she started eating toothpaste and began a bath boycott. That was the year she decided she hated shoes. That was the year she called apples those good green things, yet she knew the smell of weed. Why all those sharp cuts and scratches in family glass tables? How to clean her mother's Remington 30-30. How to load and cock a shotgun using her breath and body weight. She recalls those early seasons as her elderly years, an era most colorful but confusing. It would be many falls before she could ride a bike, many more summers before she could swim. Yet she did ride horses, and she did hide beasts between her thighs. So she buried songs and sisters, holy grails inside her big girl stomach. She treasures those golden days, riding car seats we adults call motorcycle tanks. It would be years before she understood her not-so-healthy fear of water, and such fear literacy could and did riptide her into understanding the great struggle within us all. When we love something so much, we're terrified. Furious human whirlpools of respect manifesting fear so what's dreadful appears. Bleeding free whilst tear salt sits stubborn inside anxiety cuts. Such courage country could and did wash her wounds away. I spoke to Pirate Girl on a Sunday the sun shared with storm steadfast, just before a full blood moon. She is a sea captain now. No kids of her own, but many seasons she's guided several through all kinds of natural disasters. I'm guessing these kids made by other mothers are the echoes in her bones that these days throb and swell like the sea in which she submerges. Like a worried woman always steering and treading, a woman always in some kind of labor. Pirate Girl has all kinds of stories. The way cops could tell you everything's gonna be okay, and at the same time, hold guns to your mother's face. And they did. Which reminds her, she recalls 22 expressions of one exhausted but mostly free outlaw mother. And this same woman taught her how to handle pain, bit by bridle. You best hide your ride from outsiders, baby girl, especially those men. Pirate Girl told me that sirens are real. She said she's never actually seen one, but their soothing hymns summon her sometimes. They enlist loyal armies to her wounds through the human shapes they make with moonlight and sea ingredients. Which reminds her, she came close to diving into the deep black, in a region of the great sea away from your coordinates and maps, only to surge from their lure like dreams leaving her in love but exhausted, like she never rested, leaving her wishing she could return to those good green things, hold her breath once more till her skin turns blue once again. Woo! Students, learn from my mistakes. Make sure your poem is in order before you read it. I was really on the fence if I was going to read this one. I wanted to because of the theme for tonight. I also wanted to because of a countless amount of conversations I've been having with teenagers at school that I don't initiate. And it's a serious topic, and part of me didn't want to share this. I thought, well, it might be a little too heavy. But you know what? I'm tired of not talking about it because I think that's part of the problem. I wrote this after a long conversation with a family member about sexual assault and how so many of our kids go through it and are made to feel like hiding it is a way through it. And I think the sea is a beautiful way of writing about getting through it. So this is called Angels at Sea. Hopefully I don't screw this up. Hold on. Okay. Her mind evicted those memories. Most likely her first time. They migrated south down her lungs. Darker flashbacks fled to bomb shelters buried in her liver. That basement in a girl's body where grief posts flags, landlord's self-hatred, anxiety, shame. I sat with her, watched the sea between us whisper, swell, thrust memories into her throat. Waves thunder while her words crash of forbidden old age secrets. Dirty man hands, baby angel private parts, his hard parts like poltergeists, lost in stomach graveyards. Her scar tissue melts his scum away. Her tears rise with high tides listening. Soul scabs surge, crash, flood as man's sun sinks far away. Her irises, young again, glow sea green as wounds wash ashore for her to see. Sea foam hauls her silence away. Far west, goddess Yamaya shouts. Our guardian sea queen summons her mermaid armies to avenge girl grief. Take it all to Luna Madre, her waning iron wings. Angry swells rise higher, tow emerald wombs onto sand. Two injured sisters bask, breathe, plunge naked, head first into lady waves' arresting cleanse. Baptisms free of man's scripture. Goddess sea he claims like a child's innocence and flesh. Divine country, a sage blue abyss that was never his to take. Salty riptides wash his assaults away. Beaching for a grown angel and her little sister, two girl ghosts cleansed, revised, serpent-free. I'm just going to read one more. I have more, but I think it's probably better I just read one more. This is brand new and fresh, and it's inspired by this event. And I wrote it specifically for this event. It is not done. I like throwing in a draft at a reading first, and we'll see where it goes. Absolutely dedicated to my readers from my class today. Isis, Junie, Chris, and Grant. It's called Water Prayer. Guardians of the West, from this classroom I summon you. A long day absorbing their earth storms, I look to my tired hands and see the sea in my veins. Blue goddess water that the air spirits in their dying wish insist thrives red. Guardians of the West, while alive and blue, I invoke your sea captains, your sirens, your ghost pirates, your many creatures and spirits who thrive in tides instead of more grounded afterlives. Guardians of the West, let your water I harbor manifest a strong ship for these seasick students I often call my sea kids. And at the front of this galleon guardian, I request Yamaya as our figurehead. Let her protection tether them to more grounding horizons. Beaches flooded with countless graduations, love in all her forms, wound resolutions that for once wash away the ghosts of ancestor story roots. Let Yamaya's compass guide them to where the orcas go when their armies of women rest from the sharks. And make in riptides a nest as strong as evergreens. Wash away the assaults that come from living in a system starving for great spirit's power wash. And when the storm's over, I call on you to bring to their feet their resolutions. That's as far as I got on that.
Wow.
Thank you.